If the stabilizing economic headlines don't match the reality of your tightening paycheck, you aren't imagining things. Prices are still climbing, just at a slower pace. Meanwhile, the Federal Reserve is actively cutting interest rates to cool down a softening job market, not because inflation is fully solved. This chart plots 2026's conflicting forces: consumer prices crawling upward, while interest rates move the opposite direction. This intersection creates a transitional squeeze. Your saving yield drops, while baseline costs for energy and insurance remain at record highs. Because the environment has shifted, the financial rules of the last 3 years no longer apply. Staying on autopilot right now guarantees a quiet, steady loss of your purchasing power. Surviving 2026 requires abandoning generalized advice. You have to diagnose your exact financial baseline today and mount an active defense tailored to your reality. Let's start with those of you who already have a fully funded emergency account and surplus cash sitting idle. If you leave that money parked in a traditional big bank, you are actively losing ground as the Federal Reserve continues to cut rates throughout the year. This comparison table shows exactly how much you leave on the table. On a $10,000 baseline, the 12-month dollar yield of a traditional bank account is practically zero, whereas a 2026 high-yield savings account, or CD, still offers a competitive return. The required move here is to shift that surplus cash into a 6 to 12-month certificate of deposit. You want to lock in these peak rates before they drop any further. The trade-off is straightforward. Securing that guaranteed high yield means you have to sacrifice liquidity and accept early withdrawal penalties if you need to pull the cash out. Protecting your cash also means protecting your household budget. If you rely on your spending numbers from 2024 or 2025, your budget is going to quietly fall apart by the middle of the month. You need to audit your actual 2026 grocery and utility receipts. Use those current, higher numbers to recalibrate the baseline needs category in your 50-30-20 budgeting framework. The math here is harsh. Acknowledging that price creep in your essentials forces a strict corresponding reduction in your wants category. For the yield optimizer, ignoring the squeeze means bleeding cash. Enduring the friction of moving accounts and rebudgeting secures both your yield and your purchasing power. Now, let's look at the other side of the spectrum: the majority of Americans who are financially stretched and vulnerable to accumulating debt. If you are living paycheck to paycheck, optimizer strategies like locking money away in CDs are dangerous. Your sole priority right now must be baseline survival. This scorecard displays the 3 major financial traps threatening this demographic in 2026. Being unable to cover a $400 surprise expense without borrowing is the single most critical vulnerability you can fix right now. Fixing this requires temporarily pausing all your other financial goals so you can funnel $50 a week into a starter emergency fund. Closing this $400 gap removes the necessity of turning to predatory, high-interest debt just to survive a blown tire or a routine medical bill. Once that buffer is in place, you have to address the behavioral trap of buy now, pay later platforms. These payment plans create a false sense of affordability. They hide the aggregate total of your stacked consumer purchases behind small, seemingly manageable biweekly payments. You have to treat these plans with the extreme strictness of a credit card. Doing so removes the psychological ease of online shopping, but it prevents hidden late fees and serious credit damage. Finally, we have to look at the most severe checklist items specific to 2026, the resumption of federal student loan defaults. The stakes here are concrete. Newly defaulted borrowers are currently suffering a 90-point drop in their credit scores. The mandatory defense is proactively contacting your loan servicer to enroll in an income-driven repayment plan or forbearance options before you default. Securing this protection requires confronting bureaucratic portals and acknowledging your actual debt balance, which is far less comfortable than just ignoring it. But for stretched viewers, executing these 3 defensive actions is how you break the compounding cycle of debt and restore your baseline stability. The 2026 economy ruthlessly penalizes financial autopilot and rewards precise, targeted actions. Do not attempt all 5 of these moves at once. Taking on that much administrative friction will only lead to burnout. This flowchart determines your single weekly priority. Ask, what is your 2026 priority? Under $400 in cash? Follow Branch 1 to build buffer and triage loans. Surplus cash? Branch 2 routes to lock in HYSA CD. Spending escalating? Branch 3 routes to recalibrate budget. Map your exact financial standing to one specific node on this tree and commit to executing that single administrative task immediately. Ultimately, financial stability this year requires the discipline to match your defensive strategy to your precise economic reality.